Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn bottom right side as the pink Abbasid Dynasty, we have liquid DeMu. Spawn top left side as magenta Ottomans, we got EL.loueMT. It's been a while since the last seen Abbasid Dynasty, and I can't remember all of the balance changes that happened to them. I didn't think there was too many. I think there was some small buffs here and there, mostly just making some certain research costs less, if I remember correctly from the last patch. But either way, of course, both players have access to improve. Actually, no, Ottomans do not have access to improved berries, just have normal berries, so it's best for them to collect the sheeple. Well, the berry pushes here does provide more food, and actuality, he's going for a decent amount of extra wood here, isn't he? Is Pink eyeing for a spearman rush? You only need 50 wood to get the House of Wisdom, so what is he eyeing right now? Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I see something going on, and I'm not exactly sure what. And for a reference point, the Ottoman player has enough resources to age up, going to the Sultani Trade Network. This map would be good for going for those free traders to actually do a bit of trading, or could just use it for the extra free gold income. Gold mine there. He is clicking up a decent amount of extra wood. I guess. I wasn't playing exactly the build order. Guess we'll save up for extra wood, the lumber camp. And he is still collecting up quite a bit of wood now. Has 3 villagers on wood. His opponent just now put 2 villagers on food. So we got... I'm trying to think what's going on. I just noticed this, and I understand Kilworth's getting another house. But in comparison to his opponent, he spent the initial wood, of course, on the additional housing, and has the age up for quite a sizable head advantage. He's not even started the age up. That's the part I'm still really confused about. Military wing's not complete, so got a pretty late military wing. Seeing his opponent has gone for an age up, he's collecting up some wood now, bringing back a good number of sheeple there, 15. Wait. I missed this, didn't I? Big time. So focused in town center, I forgot the fact there's also some fish deposit in the middle. Okay, that explains where all the wood was going. My apologies, I completely missed that. Going for 2 fishing boats there. There are 2 short fish on each wood. This is quite an investment. It is, of course, 150 wood for the dock, and, of course, 75 per boat. So 300 wood investment per puddle to get out a short burst of food collection. The shore fish, I think, collects at the same rate as deer when caught up by fishing boats, right? So this is effectively 4 fishing boats on deer. Sorry, I completely missed that part. And the Ottoman player has not punished this whatsoever. In fact, the Ottoman player is going for the professional scouts. Magenta spots this now. And Pink has not aged up. Pink got very lucky that Purple did not eye to rush him down, anything of that sort. Now he sees this. Professional Scouts almost researched, so yeah, I really do think Pink got a little bit lucky. Definitely needs the initial free units here, the 2 spearmen, 2 archers, but also help out with fighting against Professional Scouts. Though in this part of the map, there's a bunch of small deer deposits. And barracks and stable there. I was just so focused on this, trying to figure out what he's doing. Is he going for a spearman rush? I completely skipped my mind the fact that you can go for docks. In which... part of me wonders if it was better to go for economic and then save up for... Does the dock count as fertile for cost reduction for Fertile Crescent? Nope, either way, what is done is done. The Ottoman player has not got enough Vizier points, hardly got any Vizier points now yet for Vizier summoning. Magenta or Purple is picking up some venison in the center of the map, bringing it back on home. Had a good deposit sheep there. In fact, Pink has a good amount of sheep as well, 14. I know Purple dropped off 15, which probably means, of course, the initial stuff. Purple definitely did better in the sheep game. Got a round of basic spearmen here, not from Military Academy, all from a barracks. Hardened Spearman's on the way for pink. Purple's already got Hardened Spearman. Drop the deer right there, which is not too big of an issue. Can always be picked up and brought forward later. Golden Age Tier 1 is active, giving one of the most powerful economic benefits of the entire game. Plus 15% for all resources. Available at generally as Age 2. Could be grabbed in Age 1. If your opponent went for housing rather than docks. Which might actually be a bit more effective. Somebody could break down the numbers. I don't feel like trying to break down those numbers off the top of my head. But that could have been better than 2 docks and 2 fishing boats. Because it's effectively 4 additional villagers, 4 additional good villagers. Put an asterisk on that. Ink's falling back there, could stab some of the sheeple there. I think it's going for a stab there, but having trouble. The sheep is moving at a rate of the same move speed as a spearman. And they're not getting any combat sprints, though they're shouting like they got a combat sprint. Looks like the first vizier point was the 2 imams. Oh, I guess he had 3 out of 100 experience, but just had to actually select the vizier. I'm an idiot. And again, I did miss this part as well. But the first shore deposit is almost cleaned up. Airoships are still pretty effective against ground units, so this will be a successful defense with the airship. Going for a strike on the imams, which does provide some AoE healing. The scout and spearman going for imams as well. Trying to get rid of that advantage that he has selected early on, but they're just running away. Now the scout won't be able to defeat them. And pink may focus on the imams a little bit too hard. The fishing boat, or not fishing boat, the archer ship does have, of course, a AoE health regen from the dock, making it very difficult to displace with archers and spearmen. Going back to the plus 15% effective villagers aspect I was theorizing earlier. Roughly by the time the player, the Abbasid Dynasty aged up, he had 20 villagers. He built his least second house, so I'm just going to do a nice, easy mathematical 20 villagers. At 50% increase effectiveness, 20 villagers is effectively 23 villagers. So that was 3 villagers more advantage, but then again, these fishing boats are still active, well beyond the Golden Year Tier 1, and now we've got the Age 2 also being researched, going further for Economic Wing Fertile Crescent, as well as queued up Boot Camp. Now has access to various research, including the very powerful composite bows. In which, against Ottoman, the composite bow upgrade should be pretty nice, as Ottomans tend to go heavy in Janissaries. As for Sipahi, so you have a counter to one of the 2 core units of the Ottomans. The other core unit, of course, Sipahi, would be countered. We'll counter the same archers as well. Got quite a bit of units there. The best unit that now Pink could deploy on the field would probably be Man-at-Arms. Lancers wouldn't be half bad as well, seeing that he's also fighting against a good number spearmen, but Age 2 spearmen can fall off versus Castle Age Knights and Lancers. But I still think Man-at-Arms will, of course, be a good solid counter to the situation. Does have +1 damage, so need to get +1 armor to fully effectively going down from 2 damage to 1 damage, is still pretty good. Plus with Boot Camp as well is a cheaper alternative, which also gives him a decent amount of extra health. Granted, there won't be Man-at-Arms, or Gilams, that's right, and Abbasids and Gilams are anti-low armored units. So they would be better in that situation, albeit more expensive. Arm players now gone has researched the Kunji, the DPS Horse Archer, which these archers should still be adequately fine. I think the Kunji, yeah, they still have pretty low health. These are, of course, Age 2 ones. Most Age 2 horse archers have around, what, 85 health is what Magidai have, so they have a little bit more health, making them a little bit more durable than Magidai. while offering roughly the same DPS as well, and probably just a little bit less since the attack speed is actually still it's actually pretty slow. Dynasty does a good core of archers, has one Gila on the field. Basic round of walls there to help protect this flank. Mahid Imperial Army now being researched by the Ottoman player. Does a +1 damage on the veteran archer. Of course, boot camp makes it a little bit more healthy. In comparison, you can see here 8 damage, 92 health, 95 health, 8 damage times 2, at a pretty slow attack speed. That said, Pink has gone for the aggressiveness. Doesn't have composite bows research, shall see. Oh, got some more professional scouts. And we'll scout out this force, murdering him. Of course, Pink doesn't have too much vision with those archers, just okay vision. Veteran horseman or a Sipahi research on the way for the Ottoman player. Of course, we are seeing some of the free Mangonels being deployed on the field, which should be a good counter to the composite bowmen. So the Ottoman does have good counters to these advanced Abbasid Dynasty archers. More Gilans being deployed on the field. And Purple has picked up those relics of those 2 free Imams. Pink, even though it had a faster cast age, has some Imams in the field, but has not claimed any relics or picked up any. Veteran Akinji, or however you pronounce that, is being researched. They do use the Turkish horse archer animators. That was from the Ayyubid campaign. Three Gilams on the field. Only one in that formation, however. Veteran archer now being researched by the Ottoman player. In Pink or Purple, the Ottoman player has not deployed a Meteor just yet. Has one queued on up. That could be from Military Academy, but don't. Yeah, it doesn't look like Magenta has or Purple has a Military Academy on the field just yet. Lastly, Shorefish being cleaned on up. So the small economic advantage that the Abbasid Dynasty has sought for is starting to dry up. Though so has the Golden Age Tier 1, which is one of the most powerful economic benefits I'm putting in the game. I probably put too much emphasis on that, but I generally do believe it's one of the most powerful economic benefits. 50% on all resources is immensely powerful. As I mentioned, seeing the farm upgrades only applied 10% rather than 15% makes it also his farmers particularly effective. Elon getting ripped apart there, getting hit pretty hard. These guys do have higher base damage, so they have piece of armor better than, say, Magudai. Plus a burst 2 times to attack. It looks like we do have composite bowman research now. Some of those as well, those secondary arrows seem like they missed the Palisade Gate. Pink has a sizable force there trying to cut off this army. Does take a scout there, which is somewhat important. Sipahi hitting some of these composite bowmen. A couple of Gilams push forward. Gilams, of course, do have a charge attack as well. Does take out that composite bowman. Takes the Meteor as well, very nice. Right now they have some destroyed values with similar civilian kill counts, but most of the kill counts from Magenta is the deleted fishing boats. We do now have the Advanced Academy researched. And the Sultani trade network, I just have a good feeling he's going to go for trade bags. He has 2 remaining Vizier points. Phalanx have been researched. This was actually nerfed last time I cast Abbasid Dynasty, so no longer the spear wall gets affected by the increased tower range, which is honestly something that probably shouldn't have had. Because before in the spear wall was able to like reach over between other spearmen. It was something a little bit ludicrous. Got 2 Mangonels in his formation. Golden Age Tier 2 now complete. Now it gets faster research, which is not important. These Mangonels getting stoned to death. Airship firing away. Does take a volley there for the Kinji with a higher base damage, able to really get some good damage on the arrow ship. And the Abbasid Dynasty does have a decent amount of resource stockpiled up, so Abbasid Dynasty player maybe Ironfront age up relatively soon. The Ottoman players deployed out an army. Right now it has almost double the size of the army as well. With a good number of lancers, Abbasid Dynasty is going for some crossbowmen and more spearmen. Archers and Guilloms push way forward. That one archer is also charging an Iron for Glory. Pink has started to pull out some basic walls here, but we've got a nice little harassment force there who ran by those villagers, probably not paying too much attention. Oh, does spot them now. And the stock is not important whatsoever. They're just basically observation posts right now. Pink is following an eye for big trade. Abbasid Dynasty trade is one of the best in the entire game. They have an inherently, 33% cost reduction. Out the get-go, it's pretty easy to transition to it. Plus, they do have powerful trade benefits. Oh yeah, that got swapped because it's pretty powerful. 25% increased value here, and as well as another 30% increased value there, effectively giving them 55% increased value. And not to mention some extra armor would be quite always handy. Only against these guys here in particular, since we'd be double effective versus them. Pink's now advancing forward army here. Pink, of course, Abbasid Dynasty does have access to free improved siege engineers. The villagers here could be picked on off. 3 out of 4 military schools deployed in the field at the moment. Gets good damage there. One thing I sort of wish they had in the replay mode is number of military schools in the field. Just give you an idea of their primary economic benefit. Villagers building a wall, sort of. We do have a secondary town center back here. And some of these villagers did not go inside of it, or any of those villagers. Purple's now pushing over here. Pink is still running away with those villagers. Got a good number of composite bowmen and crossbowmen engaging these lancers. Spearmen and Guilloms also pursuing them. It looks like these guys are getting distracted on that palisade wall. Composite bowmen won't do much in this flank, but they're doing something. They're probably good against the horse archers, of course. Spearman and crossbowman here. palisade walls have been built, but they can quickly be torched on down. These palisade walls finally being completed. Still more villagers for pink, thanks to secondary town center. Lancers cause some issues, however. Right now, the military force are... Pink has a larger military force, but quality is in favor of purple. We've got mostly trash units, archers and spearmen. Crossbones a good counter unit, and only 2 Gelongs as a power unit. Over here, we've got good numbers of Kenjis, which are 160 each. In comparison to Magadai are 150. Of course, costs gold rather than wood, which has its trade-offs. For Mongols, it's probably better it's worth gold, since they are supposed to be a bit more focused on trade. Of course, trade is always not a guarantee, especially for the Mongols. And got these flanking Kenji, which will take out those villages as well. Culture Wing's almost complete, which will give access to cheaper research. No advanced trade here, but cheaper traders still makes a pretty good transition when the player needs to obtain them. There's also still a decent amount of gold on the map, and we'll have access to incredibly powerful improved processing to get more drop-off on that same gold. And with Culture Wing, the initial technology preservation knowledge should be researched immediately in order to get cheaper technology costs, which will definitely pay for itself. It costs 100 resources, 75 gold, and it will pay for itself with 1 university technology. Or should I say, what's it called? I still don't know how to pronounce this. Madrasa? Imperial Age now obtained by Pink. Get this research going before any other elite research. It does take 20 seconds when you're trying to get your time attack. It is going to be a bit of a pain. His opponent is going to Istanbul Observatory of 44 villagers, so he's going to really get that going. Lancerns are in scout taking out some of these villagers. Got Incendiario, elite Kenji, and elite Lancers. So just got a mounted army for the Ottoman player. So Spearmen would be a good option. And against the Lancers, crossbone backline wouldn't be half bad. For a Kenji, Spearmen of course will have trouble versus them. They'll take a lot of extra damage since they're good versus low armored units. So some horsemen, actually some what's the camel archers could be a good support unit, as well as just camel riders. I always forgot. I was thinking camel lancers, but that's of course Ibids. But camel riders could be pretty nice in the situation. Provide the camel an ease debuff, which will affect horse archers as well. Incendiario's elite army tech research and Tide Runsby research. We've got 2 relics for pink, 3 relics for magenta, purple. More incendiary arrows, as well as angled surfaces, including spyglass. Mangonel's firing up the volley there. Gets a good hit on these forces. And those are more Pink's forces. Purple's armies coming in the back line. A very powerful lead force. These Mangonels are going to pose a seismic problem for Pink. They will be effective versus the backline range units, as well as not too half bad versus Spearmen. These guys right now are doing 18 damage times 2, some incredibly high DPS. Got biology bonus for the Ottoman player. Elite army tactics has been researched. Of course, Pink's army is of far lower quality. And there's not too many Lancers running on the field. We do have more Lancers in the build queue for the Ottoman player. We got Camel Riders being deployed on the field, veteran Camel Riders, or they're always veteran. Now we got Elite Camel Riders being researched, and there's some other Camel research here that increases movement speed. Camels improve the movement speed of Camel military units by 15%. Let's see, those are archer ranges. Where's the stables? Not sure where Pink's stables at the moment. He's also seizing that gold deposit. We do see improved processing. More Camel Riders being deployed in the field. Got level 2 Camel armor. Increased armor of Camel Riders by 2. Right now they have 4-3 armor. That's what 6 or 6-5. I always go for a little bit more. Actually, can't go for any more armor. Always go for biology. They do have inherently pretty high health, and they of course get good bonus damage versus cavalry. And Camel Riders are not classified as heavy, so they will not receive bonus damage from crossbowmen. And the extra armor they've received, they're not too bad versus archers as well, though incendiary archers are not too terribly bad against them still. Abbasid Dynasty hand cannons on the field. They do get plus 1% health thanks to boot camp, making them extra durable. 2 more melee armor could be researched by Pink. Maybe a good idea for the Camel Riders. That'll put them up to what? Like 8 armor? Yep, but we'll get them up to 8 armor. Biology is being researched. The Camel Unease debuff with a higher armor will make a multiple cost reduction or power reduction from the Kinji, but right now range has been upon. He has gotten the silk bow research. But it looks like they are being affected by Camel Unease by some flanking camels. Good number of Camel Riders on the field. Of course, the increased movement speed makes them move as almost fast as horsemen. And a good number of composite bowmen for cost-effective back line, especially with their composite bowman upgrade. Great bombard here, it's very fine. Camel Riders also do get plus 10 versus siege, make them pretty handy against them. Though then again, most melee units are pretty handy against siege weapons, in this case a bit more handy. The Elon Spearmen managed to connect on those forces. Looks like the mounted archers do get a lot of bonus damage from the archers, which took a lot of hits from them, I should say. Janissary's been playing the field, which would be not a good idea for all the composite bowmen, which he is still constantly building. And now the battalion will go down. Elite man arms being reached by the Ottoman player, which may not be a bad idea at this moment in time. This army, barring the crossbowman, will be weak to that. But his one is going for a good number of hand cannoneers. Don't think Serpentine gunpowder has been researched just yet. Camel Unease debuff now being deployed on the field. These Janissaries force do bonus damage versus cavalry, which would be very good versus these Camel Riders. Archers, composite bow needs to make sure they focus down those Janissaries. Great bombard, firing away. It looks like both sides take some losses. Pink has a much higher destroyed value, over 10,000, and also has a higher army value in the field. The Vizier points went into trade bags as well as back down to military campus. Takes out that unit there. Pink's now obtained some stone deposits. There's actually stone being locked out of Pink there as well. Ottoman player looks like he's trying to mass reinforcements, mostly the Lancers. And the Ottoman player has surrendered. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.